Morning, everyone, and thank you for signing up to attend my talk. In the last session with Jess, we learned a lot about the importance of role models and her story as a role model. Today in my session, I'm going to cover the qualities of role models and how you can develop these and build the skills to be a better role model. So first, a bit about me. I'm Thurkettle. I'm currently a senior marketing consultant at Codurus, an award-winning app and software development agency based out of Ipswich, Cambridge, and Norwich. I started working at Codurus in June of this year. In terms of the rest of my career, I have a bachelor's in public relations, and I've been doing some level of PR and marketing for about over 10 years for a wide range of companies, ranging from charities to small, medium, and large enterprises. I'm also the CEO of Stress Buddy Limited, and I'm currently developing a mental health app. In 2019, I won Innovate Suffolk's Mental Health Hackathon, as well as the Innovation Developer Award for my app idea. In my spare time, I enjoy boxing, pole fitness, and volunteering as a Girl Guiding Leader here in Ipswich. I'm also currently a mentor in the Women in Tech SEO's mentorship program. I love giving back to others, and in my lifetime, I've actively volunteered with over 30 nonprofit organizations internationally for just about every cause you can think of. However, today the things I'm most passionate about are improving diversity in the workplace, educating more people about mental health conditions, and mentoring young people. You've also probably recognized by now that I'm not British. I'm originally from America, and I moved here in 2016. Having experienced life in the US and the UK, I feel I'm able to provide a unique perspective on many things, mentorship and role models being one of them. So why am I here today? Well, today my hope is that I leave you feeling inspired, motivated, and equipped with the tools to be a better role model by the end of my talk. So here goes. So before we can begin to understand how to be a role model, we first need to understand what qualities make up a role model. Luckily for us, Cambridge researchers and various developmental psychologists have conducted research on what exactly is a role model and have concluded what qualities make up a role model. This list of qualities these researchers discovered is quite extensive and includes possessing integrity, being relationship focused, being a pioneer, being inclusive, being an authority and leader, being accessible and fallible, producing high quality work, maintaining a positive attitude, being well-rounded, being confident and authentic, and being resilient. During my presentation, I'll be covering a few of these qualities in detail, including integrity, what is it and how can you build it? Interpersonal skills, so what are the top interpersonal skills and how can you improve confidence? Inclusiveness, what does it mean to be inclusive and what can you do about it? And resiliency. What is resiliency and why is it important that you are seen as being resilient? So integrity is defined as the quality of being honest and moral and adhering to ethical principles. Yet how does a person build integrity? Well, essentially there are four key components of integrity. The first component is self-awareness, i.e., do you understand who you are and what you stand for? Self-awareness is understanding the way you think, feel, and behave. Self-awareness is very beneficial because it helps us see our own blind spots so that we can help mentees and younger generations avoid mistakes we have made ourselves and make better decisions earlier on. Not to mention, being self-aware means you have additional insight into how you may be perceived by men, women, or people who look up to you. In my experience, there are a few options you can choose for improving your self-awareness, including a personality assessment to understand who you are more comprehensively, a psychometric assessment to evaluate your level of competency, a self-consciousness survey to gauge your level of self-reflection, a character strengths evaluation to identify your natural strengths, and a group questionnaire to see what your true nature is in a group scenario. So I always recommend personality assessments to everyone I meet. Personality assessments are really useful tools because they help you measure and understand your own communication preferences, strengths, and weaknesses, as well as how you would like to manage and be managed. I've taken a few, including the Myers-Briggs assessment and ImpactX Navigator. The one I'm recommending today, though, is Insights Discovery, another one I've taken myself. It was awarded an occupational test tool certification mark and is a test registered with the British Psychological Society. The Insights model is based on the extensive research of Swiss psychologist Carl Jung and one of his leading students, Dr. Yolanda Jacobi. The model uses 4 colors, red, blue, yellow, and green, to represent observable behavioral patterns, which are measured by the Insights Discovery Evaluation. And this is a 25-frame questionnaire of statements from 100 different word pairs, which, when completed, produces your Insights Discovery profile. The test helps individuals who complete it understand how and why they behave they do. As you see on the screen, there are 16 different types of personalities on the wheel. If you want to see an example profile, I've added mine to my LinkedIn account, which I will share with you at the end. While personality assessments look at your behavior, psychometric assessments are an objective way to measure cognitive abilities, knowledge, and skills, and can help provide you with a better understanding of how well you will succeed in a role, as well as your gap areas. This is really useful because knowing what you know means you know what you can give to others. So as you can see, there are quite a few free tests out there covering a broad range of skills. Self-consciousness is, in essence, self-reflection. Some people reflect more on themselves than others, and this self-consciousness scale, which is popular amongst psychologists, measures this and was something I came across recently. The self-consciousness scale is a scientifically validated tool that assesses the tendency to examine your own inner self and feelings, as well as your awareness of how you're viewed by others, also known as your private and public self-consciousness. This is important because it helps you understand how others may be perceiving you and how you are viewing yourself and reflecting on this. I also recommend keeping a thought journal for self-reflection, and a weird recommendation, but writing your own eulogy to illuminate how you want to be remembered, so you can remind yourself to live this way every day. This was actually recommended by someone in a talk that I attended. So I took a leadership course a few years ago, and in this leadership course, we were all required to take the VIA character strengths assessment, and I found it quite useful. My character strengths are the ones you see on the screen. Essentially, we all have many faces, but your character strengths are the qualities that come most naturally to you. Every individual possesses all 24 character strengths in different degrees, giving each person a unique character strength profile. When you know your strengths, you can improve your life and thrive. Research via the VIA Institute on Character reveals that people who use their strengths a lot are 18 times more likely to be flourishing than those who do not use their strengths. So regarding group activities, the Proust questionnaire is a fun game that used to be a parlor game made popular in previous decades by Marcel Proust. Essentially, he believed that an individual's true nature could be revealed by answering these questions. Doing this questionnaire with groups is said to be a fun way to improve your self-awareness and help others learn more about you. So now that we have covered how to build self-awareness, the next key component of integrity is having clear values. Values are essentially basic and fundamental beliefs that motivate your attitudes or actions and help you determine what is important to you. Values describe the personal qualities we choose to embody to guide our actions, the sort of person we want to be, the manner in which we treat ourselves and others, and our interaction with the world around us. They provide the general guidelines for conduct, which is why it is important that we identify our values so we can ensure we are living by them. But how can you determine what your values are? In my personal and professional life, I've used 2 key things to assess my values, including completing a personal values assessment and a motivational map. This personal values assessment is a quick way to help you identify your personal values quickly and efficiently, and requires you to pick and choose until you have a final list of your top values. However, a more scientific way to identify what is important to you is to complete a motivational map. A motivational map is an ISO-accredited online self-perception inventory that crucially focuses on motivation rather than personality. Getting a motivational map will allow you to understand what motivates you on a deeper level, how this connects with your values and your current level of motivation. Essentially, it will help you understand if you are living the life you want to be living, and if not, what you can do to address this. So knowing your values and your motivations and connecting these means you are closer to living your truth. I couldn't tell you how impactful this has actually been for me. Although I thought I was quite motivated, my results indicated I was extremely unsatisfied in my previous role, and was one of the reasons I made the switch to Coders in June this year. And even though it was quite a rocky time in the world, I couldn't have made a better decision for my personal and professional life. So the next key component of integrity is having a caring nature. So are you caring, kind, and courteous, and is this consistent with everyone you encounter? The most important component of being a caring person is having empathy and compassion towards others and helping those who need it. But how do you become a more empathetic person? Well, author and philosopher Roman Krznaric has in fact identified 6 habits of highly empathetic people that you can implement daily. But what are they? Habit 1, cultivate curiosity about strangers and try to expand outside of your bubble. Habit 2, challenge prejudices and discover commonalities between yourself and others. Habit 3, try another person's life. And by this, I mean get outside of your comfort zone, do something you didn't think you would, and go to places you never imagined yourself going to try and understand why other people live the way they do. Habit 4, listen hard and open up. And I mean active listening. Put your phone down, shut your laptop, and listen to others around you. Be vulnerable and connect with others. I've had around 3 people reach out to me this year who were suicidal. And I think it's because I've been open about my own experiences with mental health. And because of this, I've been able to connect more deeply with others. Habit 5, inspire mass action and social change. Don't just share someone else's post on social media. Actually go out, COVID permitting, obviously, and do something. Hold a virtual event, exercise to raise money, get involved in petitions, or I guess be like Kim K and go to school to be a lawyer because you're not defined by your current career. And habit 6, develop an ambitious imagination and empathize with people who you don't necessarily share beliefs with and who may even be your enemies in some way in order to develop social tolerance. As an American citizen, I am genuinely terrified for my country right now. And I know it sounds cheesy, but if more people would just try and understand where others are coming from, the world would be a better place. All these habits will help you be more empathetic, and I'll be providing links to more information on these habits in the resources slide at the end of my presentation. The last step in building integrity is looking at your track record and actually see if you have a history of being honest, trustworthy, and reliable. If you do have a track record, awesome. If you don't, what are some ways you can build this? So keep your promises and ensure you are 100% able to deliver them. Keep appointments and be reliable. Get comfortable saying no and be honest if you can't do something. Avoid people who lack integrity and examine how you react and behave in knee-jerk scenarios. As I covered, self-awareness, clear values, caring nature, and a track record are essential to building integrity. However, if you are ever unsure, ask yourself the following questions to gauge your integrity. Am I willing to say what I'm thinking? Am I willing to risk being wrong? Do I want my child or someone else I love to do that? And if not, then why am I doing it? Does this conduct make me a better person? And am I leading by example? And am I taking 100% responsibility? Now that I have covered integrity, my next section is interpersonal skills. So interpersonal skills are extremely important because those with interpersonal skills can communicate well with others, are great collaborators, and are able to engage others, often using humor and enthusiasm. They're also generous in supporting and developing people and prioritizing relationships with others. So what are the top 10 key interpersonal skills? The top 10 key interpersonal skills in the workplace are self-confidence, so feeling of trust in one's abilities, qualities, and judgment, work ethic, so professionalism, respect, and dependability, relationship management, receptiveness to feedback, body language, such as eye contact, facial expressions, gestures, personal space, posture, and body positioning, listening, and I mean active listening, collaboration, so ability to cooperate and mutual respect, conflict management, such as diplomacy, empathy, negotiation, assertiveness, and compromise, a positive attitude, and workplace etiquette. So due to time constraints, I can't cover all of these skills, unfortunately. So instead, I will be covering how to build confidence, but more importantly, I will be discussing imposter syndrome and its impact on confidence, because a lot of people in the tech industry suffer from this, and as well as a few ways you can combat imposter syndrome. Imposter syndrome is one of the biggest phenomenons impacting confidence for both men and women, and research has found that over 70% of people experience it in their lives. But what is it exactly? Putting it simply, it's essentially feeling a phony or a fraud, that you don't belong where you are, and that what you have accomplished was not as a result of skill, but due to dumb luck. This feeling can impact confidence and performance, and because of this, it's important to know about how it presents itself. According to a specialist on the matter, Dr. Valerie Young, there are 5 types, including perfectionists, experts, natural geniuses, soloists, and super people. In a few seconds, I'm going to ask you a few questions that I just want you to listen to and think about and see if it impacts you and if you identify with what is being asked, I guess. So, do you set extremely high goals for yourself and feel like a failure with even the smallest mistake and question your own competence if you don't meet 99% of your goals? You might be a perfectionist. Do you feel the need to know every piece of information before you start a project and constantly look for new certifications or training to improve your skills, never feeling fully satisfied? Do you also refuse to apply for a job if you don't meet all the criteria in a job posting, or are hesitant to ask a question in class or speak up in a meeting at work because you're afraid of looking stupid if you don't already know the answer? You might be an expert. Or when you have to struggle or work hard to accomplish something, do you think this means you aren't good enough? And in the same aspect, are you used to skills coming easily? And when you have to put in effort, does your brain tell you that that's proof you're an imposter? You might be a natural genius. Or are you like me and feel you need to accomplish tasks on your own? And if you need to ask for help, you think that means you're a failure or a fraud? You might be a soloist. And lastly, do you push yourself to work harder than those around you to prove that you're not an imposter and feel the need to succeed in all aspects of life, at work, as parents, as partners, and may feel stressed when you are not accomplishing something? And are you addicted to external validation and not the experience itself? You might be a super person. So if you feel connected to any of those questions, it's okay, because there are ways that you can mitigate the negative effects of imposter syndrome, which I will cover in the next slide. So a few tips. Recognize imposter feelings when they emerge. Awareness is the first step to change, so ensure you track these thoughts, what they are and when they emerge. Rewrite your mental programs. Instead of telling yourself other people are going to find you out or that you don't deserve success, remind yourself that it's normal to not know everything and that you will find out more as you progress. Talk about your feelings. There may be others who feel like imposters too, including myself. So it's better to have an open dialogue rather than harbor negative thoughts alone. Consider the context. Most people will have experienced moments or occasions where they don't feel 100% confident. There may be times when you feel out of your depth, and self-doubt can be a normal reaction. If you catch yourself thinking that you are useless, reframe it. The fact that I feel useless right now does not mean that I really am. Reframe failure as a learning opportunity. Figure out what lessons you can learn from this experience and use them constructively in the future. This is a critical lesson for everyone. Be kind to yourself. Remember that you are entitled to make small mistakes occasionally, and forgive yourself. Don't forget to reward yourself for getting the big things right as well. Seek support. Everyone needs help. Recognize that you can seek assistance and that you don't have to do everything alone. This will give you a good reality check and help you talk things through. And visualize your success. Keep your eye on what you want to achieve, as this will keep you focused and calm. So the next quality of role models I'll be discussing is inclusiveness. But what exactly is inclusiveness? Essentially, inclusiveness makes diversity work and values the differences of others and ensures everyone is included. Not to mention, we know that role models are really important for diversity, because until people see people like themselves doing well, it's hard for them to believe they can. Bearing this in mind, what does it mean to be inclusive? To be a proactive and visible advocate for inclusiveness in the workplace, to exercise influence and demonstrate commitment to equality in regards to demographics and psychographics, and to put time into supporting women, people with disabilities, and minorities, and encouraging their development. Now, how can you ensure that your workplace is inclusive? At Coderus, our HR department is looking into incorporating diversity training and training on neurodiversity communication into our onboarding process. And this is something you can look to do in your organization. There are many charities in the area, such as Autism and ADHD, that have experience creating training videos for companies. And there are also videos on LinkedIn which you can purchase and use. You can also speak up when you see someone being treated unfairly and refuse to put up with unequal treatment yourself, because if you don't, then who will? And lastly, you can help your organization improve their hiring process. I was involved in hiring a junior marketing executive recently, and I noticed that we didn't have a structured hiring process for this position specifically, since it was very junior and the candidates applying didn't really have portfolios because they were either still in high school or fresh out of university. So I put a few measures in place to ensure it was as fair and as equal as possible. This included recording virtual interviews with permission from candidates to ensure that HR and team leads could review them to ensure that everyone is treated fairly, giving the same briefs for tasks to every candidate and asking every candidate the same interview questions, and putting a point system in place with clear expectations as to what was best in class for each score, and inviting in the top 3 scoring candidates for an interview, for a final interview, holding to that point system. We also gave those 3 candidates another brief for the final interview and hired the candidate who showed the most passion for the position, as well as who was the most creative. Although we weren't able to hire everyone who applied, we sent very detailed feedback to everyone with guidance and directions on how to improve, and have also offered to help a few of the candidates improve their CVs for future jobs, since we know that they are still early in their careers, because, you know, it's the little things. My last and final quality is resilience. So resilience is very different than being numb. Resilience means you experience, you feel, you fail, you hurt, you fall, but you keep going. Yasmin, go ahead. While you're watching this video, think about what you think it means to be resilient, and
when things are going bad, there's going to be some good that's going to come from it. Oh, mission got canceled? Good. We can focus on another one. Didn't get promoted? Good. More time to get better. Didn't get funded? Good. We own more of the company. Didn't get the job you wanted? Good. You can get more experience and build a better resume. Got beat? Good. You learned. Unexpected problems? Good. We have the opportunity to figure out a solution. When things are going bad, don't get all bummed out, don't get startled, don't get frustrated. No, you just look at the issue and you say, good. You go forward. And lastly, if you can say the word good, it means you're still alive. You still got some fight left in you. So get up, dust off, reload, recalibrate, re-engage, and go out on the attack.
When you're making a diamond, 3 things have to happen. Number 1, they have to put you under immense heat. You got to get burned. Don't run from the difficult classes. Take them. Go to the heat, because the sooner you go to the heat, the sooner the dream. Then after the heat, they have to put you under pressure. Little pressure, little progress. Stop taking shortcuts. Stop taking the easy way. Go through whatever God wants you to go through. The final thing you have to do is you got to cut it. It's the cut that makes it valuable. Yes, you have a dream, and the process is not supposed to be comfortable. So if it hurts, if you feel like you're under heat, if you feel like you're being pressured, welcome to the big leagues. When God looks like he's pulling you back, eventually he's going to let you go. And the farther he pulls you back, once he releases you, boom.
Once you find those things that will make it worth it for you, it is done. It's a done deal. You know people, you've seen people that you can predict early on. That person is going to be a diamond. You know it. How they carry themselves, how they take care of business, how do they follow through, how they keep their commitments to their commitment, how they work the system, their energy level, their passion. You know it. The mark is on them. You know it. That one is going to make it. But people must see that in you. We've all had experiences where we were working on something and we knew it was possible. We took the responsibility to make it happen. Other people couldn't see it. A lot of people didn't believe it. People were opposing it, but you kept on doing it. It was hard, it was rough, it was difficult, but to you it was worth it. And eventually you got to a level you know there's nothing stopping me now. I'm on the move. I'm on the move.
So I hope you're feeling more motivated by watching that video. I know I was. But now let's think about the importance of being resilient as a role model. Think about someone who looks up to you, and are they watching you accept defeat? Or are they watching you withstand, recover, and grow? Then by this, are they learning to accept defeat because you are their role model? Or are they learning to keep going because you are their role model? I really hope you've enjoyed this presentation, and I provided you with links to the things I've just discussed today. These will be sent in the follow-up email. And as the usual ending to these things goes, don't forget to follow myself and the company I work for, Codrus, on social media. Do you have any questions?
Hi, Cara. Just wanted to say thank you so much for the talk. It was really inspirational. Thank you so much.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah, I hope everyone got something out of it. I haven't done very much presenting myself on this kind of stuff, but I thought I know quite a lot of this from my experience, and I just wanted to share it with other people. So
really kind of you. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your presentation. Can I just ask a question? You know, given the current climate, sometimes it's difficult to stay motivated because things are changing, you know, day by day, and the future is quite uncertain. Do you have any tips of how we can stay motivated and engaged, you know, given the current situation?
yeah, I think it's very important to kind of, like, even in this climate, just kind of have goals, you know, like long-term goals of things where you see yourself, and just keep thinking, like, where do I want to be? Like, how do I want to be? And just kind of chipping on. And I think it's really important as well to, like, really take care of your mental health during this time. I know I've got quite a few different mental health conditions, and I really struggled with lockdown and everything, but I just, you know, kind of kept keeping my eye on the prize. When I was in university, I experienced homelessness. I was actually homeless, couch surfing for a number of reasons, and I experienced poverty and starvation growing up. And I just always knew for myself, I ended up getting a full scholarship to university, and I just knew that if I just kept studying and I just kept, you know, keeping on, that I would eventually just, like, get a scholarship to college. Like, I would go to college and I would get myself out of the cycle of poverty that my family has been in. And I did. And I think that's important, just kind of that whole keeping your eye on the prize. Obviously, you know, financial difficulties and everything, but you know, there are loads of opportunities, you know, getting a second job, like, just trying to remember, like, there's so many other things you can do, and just kind of keeping your eye on the prize, really. I hope that helps.
Right, thank you. That's really inspiring. Thank you.
Anybody else have any questions? Any comments on anything? Did anyone connect with any of the things that I spoke about today?
Hi, it's Brenda here. Thank you very much, Cara. That was really inspirational, and I'm really looking forward to doing some of these personality assessments, because I've done the Myers-Briggs one and the 16 personalities, but they look fascinating. I've been making notes there, so I'm looking forward to getting the links and trying those out.
Yeah, they were the company I worked for previously, Strategic, swears by them, and I do think that they are extremely beneficial. And I think a lot of people that I worked with previously, like, they really know themselves, and I think that this personality assessment I would recommend to like everyone to do, at least for your own personal benefit, even if, you know, you're not using it at your workplace. I think it's beneficial.
Yeah, thank you.
Oh, hi, Cara. I have a question.
Yep.
You mentioned how you helped with your HR to improve your recruitment process. How did you approach that with them? Did you just go and ask them, or did you bring suggestions to them in the first place, or how did you go about?
Yeah, I basically just kind of took charge of the situation. I said, well, we were going to hire this for this position. Can I just put in this process to hire them and see how it goes? And you guys can let me know like what your thoughts are and stuff. And yeah, I think it's just really showing initiative really, because HR have so much stuff that they have to handle, right? And I think if you think of an idea, because like I come from a Hispanic background and I'm from America living in the UK, so I'm a very different than a lot of the people that I work with. And I always come into places that I work with all these ideas. And I think just showing initiative and just saying, hey, can I help with this, even if it's not in your job description, and just kind of seeing how it goes. But I think that's kind of the best way. I just kind of just said, hey, can I take control of this? And they were like, yeah, go ahead. And actually they really love the idea of the whole recording the interviews with the candidates' permissions and stuff, because they think for them, because so many people are involved in the hiring process. Sometimes some people don't actually know what happened in the interview, and they're supposed to be involved in the process and can only know what the person has told them about that candidate, which I think means that there's discrepancies. So I think that that's really beneficial, especially considering the climate. And virtual interviews as a first interview, I think, are a great opportunity. And then second interviews are kind of where you can just kind of invite the person and then see like how they would fit in the team. But I think especially now, virtual interviews are great. But yeah, it's just kind of going and showing that initiative and just saying, I've got an idea, and whatever department, like this even applies to other departments with other things. If you got an idea, just say. The worst thing the person's going to tell you is, no, sorry, we're not interested right now. But at least you've taken the initiative.
Yeah, thanks. I think that's a really good idea.
Anybody else? I'm also on LinkedIn as well, and we'll provide the URL. So anybody can also direct message me with anything as well that they want to talk about. I'm always available for a chat.
Thank you so much, Cara, for that really, really inspiring talk. And thank you so much for everyone attending. I will be sending out the slides after the call, and we'll be uploading the recording to LinkedIn and Workplace. Yeah, thank you so much. Thanks, Cara.
Okay, so are we done?
Yeah, unless anyone has any more questions, I'm okay to close the call.
Thanks very much, Cara.
Thank you, Cara.
Thank you.
Welcome, everyone. Feel free to get in touch.
Thanks,
Okay.
Cara.
Thank you.
Have a nice
Bye-bye.
morning. Bye.